fight at Fight Lab 43, probably Fight Lab 1, Fight Lab, he's probably going to be 122. You've been a main event fighter for Fight Lab so many times. People already know your name, but we're here at Fight Lab 44. You got a fighter coming up, Avery Evans. Just talk about how your school's going right now.
Gym's going good. Yeah, I helped the guys start the year off in a big way. We're looking to continue that with Avery. Yeah, all the students have been fired on all cylinders. Yeah, Erica, Tiffany, they all had big wins at the end of the year. Devin. So I mean, everything's been going good for us. We're looking to continue that momentum with Avery tonight, and I feel he's ready.
Well, let's sort of do like a flashback to the last Fight Lab 43. You look good, very competitive fight. That a couple weeks before you had that fight, you went out to California, trained with Team Alpha Male. Your second time doing that. How much did that help you in your conditioning and just your overall presence going out there that day?
It pretty much helped me immensely. Having access to guys, they've got 12 guys that fight in the UFC at any given practice. You get in there with 30 pro fighters. Steel sharpens steel. It's going to make you better. Access to those guys, and just that constant grind will definitely help you. And anytime where I get to take a little break from coaching other guys and focus on myself and improving myself is definitely beneficial. But when you go to a camp that's got 5 guys that are ranked top 10 in the world, it's gonna make you a better fighter. They're a great group of guys out there. They were extremely helpful and extremely warm and welcoming.
Yeah, and now you go into that fight with Diego Lima, who's no slouch in his own right, a veteran of Bellator. That's something I would think going against somebody like that's got to be right there at the top where obviously you won. Now it's going to put you in maybe the crosshairs of some of these bigger promotions like Bellator, like hopefully the UFC, hopefully World Series of Fighting. People who have promotions have eyeballs out there.
That victory was definitely my biggest win to date. Rodrigo came into the fight, 13-2. Had fought for Bellator 3 or 4 times. So that was a huge victory. And anytime you can submit a dude, coming from Brazil and training at one of the top gyms in the world. That's a huge feather in your cap. It was definitely my biggest win and one of my hardest fights to date. I think I looked good throughout the fight and in every aspect. My striking looked good, my grappling looked good, my wrestling looked good. So it was that was one of those fights where it definitely got to showcase everything that I can do in my as a fighter, and showed how well-rounded my game is. And anytime and that's just getting exposure to that kind of opponents, really helps you elevate your game, and he did that for me.
And sort of being the novice expert that I am in the sport, if you go back and watch that fight, very competitive first round, but in that second round, it looked like you hit another gear. He looked like he had you in a little bit of trouble, but then you sort of took over that latter half, and almost looked like there was a little bit of controversy, if anybody watched it, with the ref position where you could have stopped the fight.
It's not my job to criticize refs and stuff like that. He saw what he saw. As a fighter, I never want to do any serious damage to my opponent. I think I was teeing off with some pretty good shots, and it was about 50 unanswered shots. I got a gift wrap position. I was throwing some hard hands and elbows. At a certain point, I think it should be stopped. But even if he doesn't stop it, I think when you tell a fighter, I'm gonna stop it, as the fighter in the dominant position, it kind of sends you off into that other gear trying to finish the fight. Where if he keeps saying that and doesn't do it, it could cause me to gas myself out. You saw that in like a Shane Carwin Brock Lesnar fight where he gassed himself out, trying to finish the fight. But that was the one problem that I had. But other than that, I think that guy's a good ref. It's a tough job.
Yeah. Do you think, touching on that, that will sort of set, just like we talked about the crosshairs, do you think that's a milestone victory in your resume that could lead you to one of these bigger shows?
Definitely. Going against an opponent that hard and coming out with a submission victory, which actually, to tell you the truth, I'd prefer that over the TKO. If the ref had stopped it, I'm glad to a point now. I'm glad that he didn't, knowing the outcome. Because this way the fighter stopped the fight, not the ref. Where it's not like, oh, I was fine. He was the one that stopped the fight. And getting a submission victory over a high level grappler from a top camp. It definitely opens up eyes and is going to open up doors to those bigger organizations.
Let's sort of like jump to now, which is talking about this fight here at the Fort Bragg. You're a prior military service guy, 3 tours in Iraq. How much does this mean, do you think? How much do you think this means to the troops out here who's going to be watching this right now?
Yeah, we're warriors. We love to watch people throw down. Fight Lab always puts on a great show, and it's great to bring that level of excitement and energy out to our servicemen. It's great for me to have one of my fighters on the card. Love to show love and support to my fellow military brothers.
Two-pronged question. What do you foresee yourself in 2015? And being a vet of Fight Lab, what are you seeing for Fight Lab in 2015?
As far as myself, I think you'll be seeing me fight on national television this year. For what organization, still in the processes of figuring that out. But
yeah, your co-manager's down there chit-chatting away. You should be working the phone lines for you right now.
Yeah, he apparently he's a little distracted, but after tonight, I expect him to see him on the job. That's pretty much what I'm expecting out of myself. I'm on a nice three-fight win streak, and I've been fighting tough and tough guys. So I think that's doable. As far as Fight Lab, they just keep elevating their game. Last fight they completely sold out the Grady Cole Center, and they had to push people, they had to send people away. So I definitely foresee those big sold out shows and maybe bigger venues, because apparently they need the space.
They do. One thing I want to show people, and I like doing this because I'm Keith's roommate, but if you stand right, I have to sort of stand a little bit farther back. I'm actually a lot taller than Keith. Just don't get that illusion.
A lot darker too.
A lot dark. I got lights, so that helps me out. You gotta help train and get Avery warmed up.
Yep.
Enjoy the show.
I will.
Thank you.
You guys enjoy the show.